character at a very young age. Character, self-control, and self-esteem. Our children to stand up for what they believe in. They can stand up against anything because they are confident, and we have taught that at a very young age. Because the problem is, what I've seen is that we are told to be quiet. Be quiet. Don't say anything. Just be quiet. That's what our parents tell us. But if we change this and teach our children to stand up and confront issues and situations, especially on corruption in their own countries, they're guaranteed a better future. Another thing that we can do is build personal leadership. At a very young age, we teach our kids good leadership skills. Leadership, what it means and what it stands for. Giving our young kids an opportunity to know that this is stealing. This is not good. You need to stop it. And obviously accountability and eradicating that. They need to be able to stand up against things. Because what I've seen, like I said, we are taught not to stand up, not to say anything because of fear, because our parents or whatsoever, there's a lot of threat around. Our governments, our leaders are threatening everybody to be quiet. And that's not freedom. Because freedom brings money. Freedom will always help the economy. But if you hold your people down, that doesn't bring a good economy in the country, doesn't boost anybody's life because everybody's sad, everybody's living in fear. So good leadership is very important. Standing up against corruption and understanding the suffering that what human beings go through, that people do suffer. And what is it that I need to do to stop that, to stand up and confront such situations in our governments and in our leaderships? So it is vital that we stand up and we teach our children to stand up against corruption and greed, and understand that if that continues, people will suffer if we don't do something. If our children understand suffering of human beings and corruption, it's easy for them to point it out and to put an end to it. So we need to teach our children to be able to recognize and to stand up, and good leadership, and to stand up against corruption for every human being. It's important. It's vital. Our children can call up corruption and just say, if they are able to learn that, they're able to know the confidence and the leadership, and Africa can change. This is simple. Let's start with our kids. When our kids are able to understand the connection between greed and corruption and selfishness, and the need for them to eradicate and corruption, when they understand those things, it's easy for them to stand up against it. I repeat, it's easy for a person to stand up against something that they know is wrong. So at an early age, we teach our kids to stand up against things like that. And therefore, it's important that we believe in ourselves. We believe in each other to change this and bring about the future that we want to see for our children. Because this needs to stop, the corruption. We need to hold our African leaders accountable. Every one of them. Everyone. Any leader who is abusing their authority needs to be held accountable, especially in Africa. If we nail it with the leadership, it's going to work if we teach our kids leadership. So to sum it all up, if our kids understand what corruption does and the effect and the negative stuff that corruption does, if they understand that at a very young age, it's easy for them to not let it happen. And our youth need to understand the difference, understand everything. It's important that you understand everything, the human suffering and the corruption, what it does. So, right, my name is Molly, and thank you for joining me today. This is Zebra Studio. Don't forget to like and to share and to subscribe. Remember, stand against corruption. Not only stand against corruption, do something. Don't stand, just do something. Point it out. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.